Hey y'all, Amanda Raquel. Come inside. This is our new home. Super excited about it. And when I tell you this story how we got it on another video, you'll be like, liar. No one gets a house like that, but God does what he wants to do. So I'm super grateful that he literally gave us this house. I'm talking like erased student loans, did all kinds of illegal, broke laws and got us in this house in the most wonderful neighborhood. However, this house required a lot of work, right? So we're talking rewiring some electricity. We're talking this room was actually blue. And the entire house, honestly, we called the Sherbert house because every room was a different color. So that'd be messing with me. That'd be messing. I'm an artist. I need the vibe to be right. And so this is where we do our sitting, where we do our entertaining, our grown people stuff. Keep coming with me this way. Then you'll see in a moment, we come into a little bitty hallway credenza in our little bungalow. And that's my studio, which you'll see last. And this is the gallery. And it took a while for me to, with my husband, recognize we actually just like the space. You always feel like, I gotta buy some furniture. Maybe this is where we'll eat, we'll dine. And so you fill up the things. And we sat with that choice and was like tripping, like, I think we'll just put our own art on the wall. So eventually we'll have art here. We'll do some trimming, make it a little more Parisian. But that's the vibe. I love the fact that friends of ours sent us fabric from Africa. And so you'll see those details on the upholstery of the chairs or on the curtains. And it feels like us, right? You'll learn why I'm telling you this in a minute. Then we come to the bathroom. None of this is done. Like, to me, in my mind, our home isn't even close to where I'd like it to be. However, it's the best we can do right now. We're homeschooling, he's getting his degree. This wall actually had a hole in it. So because this house is a legit house, it's over like it's like a century old. It ain't no like you can fix a wall. If you go into a piece of the wall, the whole wall comes out because it's built on brick, right? So we didn't know that. And so we went to fix an electrical thing and thought we were gonna chisel around and realize there's no way to replace. The tile doesn't exist. Like, you out here bogus. So I, instead of having to redo the whole bathroom, which is what our contractor said, because this house is so old, they were like, you either have to do everything or you do nothing. So we stopped. And I had to figure out how to fix the holes that I put in the wall to get us the lighting that we wanted. So we just put up and like literally taped this green moss. And it's enough for me not to be completely annoyed with the fact that I have holes in my walls that I cannot fix. Does that make sense? So we're gonna talk about why all this matters in a moment. Because you never are where you want to be, but you have to know how to get yourself there by having enough wins, okay? So the doors aren't done. I don't even know what I want to do. But I knew I wanted to have one room that felt super moody. Because all of our house is, look at this, I just wanted y'all to see. Isn't she cute? Almost everything in this house came from somebody who died. Came from a consignment shop, a thrift store shop, or a estate sale, right? Because that's the space we're in. And so these pieces, which I absolutely adore, which I would pay full price for if I found them in a spot and I could do that. These pieces really speak to aspects of who I am in this moody room. Because I'm pretty much like my husband. We're kind of free-flowing, we're easygoing people, but every once in a while, you be getting too overstimulated, especially as an artist, right? My mom, it's the 21st century after the pandemic, I be having feelings. So we wanted to have a really sexy room, me and my hubby, and we wanted to have a guest room, and we wanted, this is also where he does some of his work for his office, and we also wanted to have a room where we could kind of, and so having it be dark, having it be, you know, speak easy with the suede and the fringes. Again, I can see, okay, I'm gonna do trim here, and then I'm gonna put that on the wall, and we have to put all the pictures up, and da-da-da-da. But I wanted to show you where our house is at now, because we're gonna talk a minute as a voice coach, like that's what this is all about. As a voice coach, how to not only enjoy the journey, but how to create a process that supports your growth. You're not living somebody else's life. That makes sense? Come on. Okay, you're going to laugh, but I don't care. Somebody threw this out. I'm trying to tell y'all, this stuff, I mean, if you got style and you got an eye, you'll find it. I'm in a wonderful neighborhood, and unfortunately somebody didn't know that this was a gym. So they threw this thing out, and I'm literally in the alley with my son's like, get out the car, it's trash to them. But I still felt like they was gonna figure it out before I could get it in our van. So literally this, I think is gorgeous. I mean, comment in the video if you think it's gorgeous. Actually, one of our first photo shoots, Raquel was in this chair. And so, what? The alley? But that's where it came from. That from the alley. Oh, hold on, can I show you? This wooden piece, my mommy, is an heirloom, gave to me. And I don't think I would ever have this much wood at all in my house. As a matter of fact, if I'm being honest with you, none of the furniture in this house is how I would envision the furniture being. Isn't that wild? So we had to take, with the budget that we have, like that couch came with the house, that maroon couch when you first came in, it came with the house. I had to take the budget we had. We knew we had enough to get a paint job. We knew we had enough to do the rewiring of electricity. We knew we had enough to gut the basement. Like, you know what I'm saying? We knew we had enough to do the things to make the house livable. And then I had to make it feel like ours until I could make it feel like mine, the way I really, really, really want it, right? But if you don't allow yourself to dream where you're at, you don't realize you can't even get where you're trying to go. It'll be a fake future anyway. Come on. That was I hope you took notes on that. That was a T-moment. Vail shook his head. He was like, that was a good moment. Okay, I got a co-sign on it. Now, again, there was a big old cabinet here, a big old cabinet here, and the cabinet came down to about right here. So, you know, me and my husband, we 5-something, 6-something. We like, how y'all doing over there? It was not gonna work. So we took everything down and had them redo the walls. And the way, it took me about a few months to figure out how our family flows. Why am I telling you this? You're gonna find out soon. And so I was like, we're gonna have a grand dining area, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, no, we're not. We always keep getting together right here in this corner. So we made a little breakfast nook, and I put some, you know, I had to make my own curtains. I'm in here acting like a Little House on the Prairie, y'all. I wanted drama because it's a boutique intimate kitchen. This is a small kitchen. So with all this big old house, the kitchen ain't but you done. We about to be out the kitchen. I ain't took but 6 steps. Me and Vail about to be out this kitchen. So I had to figure out, well, white's obviously gonna expand it, but come on y'all, I'm a queen. So I put some curtains on each side of the door, and it kind of just invites you to outside. Even outside, they had all those windows covers. I said, no, take that cabinet down outside so we can see right out to the backyard, and it gives more of an illusion of, you know, space. This is where, look at this. My kids, they don't be trying to hinder my dreams, but I told them, come on y'all, keep it clean. Why the kids glasses? Okay, so this space was orange. The kitchen was red. That art gallery room that's white, that was green. The front room, like I said, was purple. Everything was different colors. No, that was bathroom. The bathroom was purple. It was a lot going on. It was a lot going on. So we knew that, okay, let's just do it white all throughout, and then we can give ourselves time to change it as we grow without hating like the way that it was already existing. And this room, I'm still trying to figure out. I still don't know what this room is doing. I know it's a family space. I know we watch TV every once in a while. It has a whole fireplace. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the fireplace. I don't know, right? But I knew I didn't want it red, so we painted it enough white. I'm still trying to figure it out. Am I gonna put a different situation back here? Is this all gonna be white? This is called the journey, right? However, even though just about every piece of furniture is not gonna be here in the future, it's enough, including this piece. Like, I think it's super cute, but it's just like, come on, y'all. I mean, it's functional, but this is not it, right? The point is it's enough for us to be able to gather, have our friends over, and create warmth and a space where you feel like it's okay not only to transform, but to transform at your own pace. Now, why is that really, really important as your favorite Chicago South Side voice coach? I'll tell you why.
Eureka idea.
Awesome, wonderful. As a female vocalist who's done a lot of singing, okay, we're talking like starting from the church, touring with a bunch of choirs, touring with celebrity artists, doing a bunch of studio sessions for myself, for them, like, you know, it's a lot of, honey, I got receipts. We got receipts. When it was time for when God literally called me to start going into the music industry as the artist, not just a songwriter anymore or as a coach or all the things. He's like, it's now time for you to be the artist. I was budding as a mom, and I knew that if I had to follow what he was calling me to do, which I, by the way, did not want to do. Like, some people want to be a singer. I did not want to come in the front of the light because I was always doing background and supportive roles. Because of, just fear. I didn't want to be poor. I thought that you had to be a starving artist, and that's not the way it worked. I didn't want to sell my soul and compromise values that it was just so many reasons why I didn't want to be in front. But it was a lie. I secretly did. I just didn't give myself permission to want it. I thought it was very dangerous to be famous, to be whatever that God is asking me to do. And one of the big hurdles I knew I had to solve was, if I'm going to be doing this and I got to keep recording and I got to keep going into the studio and somehow find a way to not only create music, but create it in a way that lands out of my head and comes the way that it was in my head, I'm going to have to find a studio space that I enjoy. Because I have been in so many dang on studio. Let me calm down. I have been in so many dang on studio sessions where it was porn on the wall, there's weed in the air, they late, I'm on time, I paid, but I didn't get my full session, such and such ain't never ready, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs, they gonna let it eat into my hours, gonna try and bully me like I'm a girl, like they got eating into my hours, we gonna be ready in a minute, I paid for 3 hours, you gonna kick me? It was too much, and it kept being that over and over again. And then for me to have the quality of service when I was doing work for, the who's, and they could pay to have a wonderful studio session and studio experience, and the lights are dimmed well, and the candles are on, and the ambiance is great, and it smells good, and how it's so good to have you back with us. Like the treatment I wanted. Well, I ain't had a budget. It was like thousands of dollars to be able to make an album in that studio with that quality of things, right? So I knew that when God was saying, it's your turn, it's time for you to do it, I didn't want to have to be away from my family all the time. I didn't want to have to, always go downtown and spend wild hours. I didn't want to have to be somewhere when I was getting inspired and then figure out how to get into the studio. I had to build it in my house. This is why this is a backdoor coach's corner session. Because especially for those of you who I've noticed are my voice students who are females, I understand that you don't like the space. I understand that people keep trying to ask you for sexual favors for a track. I get it. I really trust you. I understand all the things. I understand that it feels grimy. I understand that you feel like you're writing things that they want you to say as opposed to what you want to say. Like, I really get it. And so much of that is because of the space. It's the environment. Didn't we discover that? That environment be pushing you into directions. No, this is what's hot. No, you should do this track. You might not like it. So you don't even know how to follow your own inspiration simply because the environment itself is conveying to you that you're doing it wrong, you're gonna fail, you're going to be X'd out if you don't do whatever the trend is. Like, all the things, not to mention the colors be off. Like, who are these men making these studio sessions? The colors be off. The colors be off. It's just not inspiring. So when I talked to my hubby and I was like, we have enough rooms, I really would like to make my office also a studio, a room where I feel it's calling and inviting me to come into it to play the piano, which I'm learning, so that I can have the conversation with the people and say, no, I want this note, as opposed to humming it. I knew I wanted to learn it, but I don't get excited about learning the piano. I get excited about that I've learned it, but I don't get excited about having to learn it. That makes sense? So I have to put it in a room that literally says, don't you want to come down at 3 a.m? Because I'll be up anyway. Or, don't you want to come down when the kids are napping? Ooh. It's literally like talking to me all the time. The room is like, I miss you. I'm like, I miss you too. Because the colors, look at this color. Bell's going to do a 360 for you later on. So you'll get all the details. You'll see the material. I got my M58. I got my little, my ring lights. I have a super cute new pair of Tiffany colored headphones that are super dope. They're the best headphones I've ever heard in my life. I have all the things I need, my Focusrite, my Cloud Lifter, my Mac, and my whatever, my Boom Lifter, all the things I need. And this nice little space, I like the fact that it's small, right? Because it's like it's giving me a hug. I love the color. It is actually custom, which is a big deal for me, because I love that I have a color that nobody else likes, that nobody else has. So we kept playing with the dimensions of the colors so I can get exactly what I saw in my head. And I can put it on the wall. And the walls tell me, you can make exactly what you have in your head. Didn't we talk about this? Am I bringing it back or not, Val? He's giving me the head fake, but it's silent. He's giving me the thumbs up. Guys, the room tells me this room was like a pukey green. It was weird green. I knew I wanted a color that was calm, that felt spa-like, but that also gave me energy. It didn't make me want to go to sleep, right? So I saw the color and was like, that's it. And what you do as an artist and as a business person is you just keep following the inspiration. It's trying to lead you to your next thing. Then you put systems around your next thing. But don't try and put a system around something that hasn't been created yet, which is what it was like when I was going to the studios. Okay, I get it. Y'all got y'all times when y'all clock in. Y'all got when y'all turn the lights on. The systems are there. You have your suggestions. This is who you're mixing. People are wonderful. But I haven't finished creating my genius thing yet. And so you want to be able to create what's genuinely yours and then put the support, the systems, the community, the things around what that real idea is. And so you need a space that's going to let you be yourself. So I wanted it textured, curtains. I saw it, I knew it. I knew the budget wasn't no more than $25, $40. So where we at? Home Goods. Until there's the curtains. I knew how to get what I wanted from Ross. When y'all see the chair, I'm like, that marble table and that chair is not from Ross. I'm like, yes, it was. Yes, it was. I knew I only had a small space, so I needed things to be kind of see-through, but I wanted a luxury feel to it, but I wanted it to be tiny, so it wasn't big, bulky furniture taking up stuff, right? And when you see this room in progression, because all the things aren't on the walls yet, and you'll even see one of the pictures. It's my very first picture I did with Vel when we were doing one of our first music videos, and it was about a vindictive, rageful woman, so that will explain why the writing is the writing. But that is going to go up on the wall, and it's going to remind me, it tells me, girl, you make great art. You do things on the fly. You're not just a vocal artist. You can put art on canvas. You're such a big deal. It says it back to me in my mind. I have a vintage phone in here. I have a really cool, like a whiskey decanter. I love it. It says you're so elegant. It says you're so creative and you're so stylish, girl. When you get your fashion line after you do your music videos, it's gonna make so much sense. I already know what I want, but I have created a room that affirms and brings pleasure to me when I think about all the things I want. It's not a fight in here. Does that make sense? This room literally lifts me every time I come into it. And I am hoping it encourages you to begin to build, even if it's a little corner in your studio apartment. Start to build a space in your home, in your room, in your whatever, that begins to tell you back. You are the artist you've been dreaming you are. You are the singer that you know that you are. And if nobody else around you sees it, I do. Your room see it. I got you, boo. Does that make sense? Go find some